Greetings, everyone. It is a lovely sunny afternoon here in southeast Georgia. Headed back home for the day. Pretty decent day at work. I know that there is a UN General Assembly happening, I guess you would say, event, meeting. I listened to a few of the speeches, just short little bits here and there, while I could, when I have a spare moment, to just listen to a news collator, I guess would be the word. Curator, there you go, that's the word, curator, while I was doing a little bit of busy work in Excel at my desk. So some silly things have been said so far by the American delegation, as always expected, with our beautiful president and his ability to say things in just the most elegant way and to always tie back to the great Joe Brandon. It's amazing. It's amazing how self-centered he can be. But let's get into the news. I believe they are talking to a author right now who suffered from long COVID or is suffering from long COVID, and their kind of like brain fog that they've had over the last 4 years, and kind of how it's affected their lives and affected their writing. So let's jump into it. Sorry, it's kind of in the middle of the segment.
Brain fog as Brian Fog, which I find to be such a perfect distillation of kind of your writing style.
I find sorry, interrupted immediately. The Brian Fog thing, because I heard a little thing before this. It's funny to me because when I was in the military, there's a dude. I mean, this was like 2018, but you know, if he was calling you stupid, he'd be like, use your Brian, you know, or if he was teaching you something that was a little bit like heavier idea, you know, he'd be like, does your Brian hurt yet? Because you look like it. So I just find it funny that, you know, it's a simple pun, but it's real funny. Brian's and brains.
Near-death experiences, you're doing it in a way that takes very serious things not too seriously.
Yeah, I just think that both things are present. It was always like that in my household, and I just think we have to keep both bits in. Like that's part of the observation. That's part of what makes it true.
Okay, so the narrator's husband has a near-death experience, hemorrhaging, emergency surgery. When he gets home from the hospital, the wife is responsible for cleaning the wound. And
yes.
Your own husband had an event like this. How did you think about the juxtaposition between this very visible, physical problem of the body and the experience that you and your narrator were having of this much more kind of invisible, slippery problem of the mind that you were wrestling with?
Yeah, it's such a great question. It put me back into the realm of the concrete.
Yeah.
It filled me back to my fingertips. I had a job to do on this planet Earth. I woke up in the morning, I drank my coffee, and then I went into that room with the chihuahua mistakes all over the carpet, and I tended my husband's wound. You know, it just felt you were on your feet, you had something to do, and you also, you know, that sense of your own uselessness just went away. You're like, I can handle this. Let me do this. Let me in there. Let me take care of you.
There's a moment towards the end where you talk about this kind of movement towards conclusion. Could you read from page 240?
Yes. The end was an oasis you never wanted to reach. The best version was when you were in it, and all the components were in hurricane. No one could ever read that but you and the people who inherited your papers. But it was the real thing, in its way. If I could communicate the way it was put together, or the act of putting togetherness, this was a kind of immortal life. Her body was to be found. Her correct body and mind were to be found in the process of assembly.
How are you now? Do you feel assembled? Do you feel in the process of assembly?
I feel closer to my own name. I do feel more like myself, and I am much better.
Patricia Lockwood, thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Her new novel is called Will There Ever Be Another You?
Will There Ever Be Another You? That might be worth listening to, you know? I'm more of an audiobook kind of guy, though I do have a couple of books saved on an old tablet that I read occasionally on like long drives. Not me, when my wife drives. That'd be dumb of me to read and drive at the same time. But I think Alex Jones does that, just by the way he talks. I know he it's pretty dangerous. Anyways, I just wanted to take a pause at the end of the story. Sorry, I got kind of interrupted and we started late into it. But this is one of the things that I absolutely love about public radio is you have, you know, these reporters, these journalists, and, you know, they look out for people sharing their own stories, whether it's through their writing, through their music, through acting or directing movies or videos, or even just talking on a podcast, because they've had podcasters on before too. And, you know, they help these people who have found a way to share their stories through art that resonate with so many other people, because even though, you know, everyone's unique, we're not alone. Even in our own feelings, we are not alone. In our own experiences, we are not alone. To be alone in your experience is to be alone as a person. And that's what I find so wonderful and so beautiful about public radio, is that they provide a platform for these people who have been able to voice their experience through art and share it with so many people, and is accessible as possible, right? Most people probably would never have heard of this book. You know, maybe they would have gone to the library with their kid to get them some Dr. Seuss books or something like I do with my kid. And, you know, maybe they might have seen this book, you know, on display on top of one of the bookshelves, or maybe the name just caught their eye as they were skimming through the spines in the nonfiction section, right? But that's a chance of that, right? And with public radio, you get to share these stories, even just little snippets of it. It allows, you know, normal everyday people to access for free, you know, because this is a public good, public radio is a public good, and help them find art that might resonate with them, that might make them find a new way to express themselves, and in a way kind of feel community in a certain way. It might actually help them find community. The author, and I know it kind of got cut out in this part, but there's like a little preamble that I heard this morning as they're kind of advertising this segment on my way to work, was how this author, she found people who had similar issues with long COVID, with brain fog, on Reddit and on the forums, and, you know, she was able to share she got to feel like, oh, she wasn't alone in her experience. And that's a wonderful thing to feel, even if it's, you know, through some comments on a thread or through watching a video, having at least a semblance of a community, because then you can reach out to those people and get a better understanding of yourself and of each other. And that's a wonderful thing. And that's part of what building community is about, is having a better understanding of yourself, your own experiences, and how those experiences weave into the lives and experiences of our fellow man, right? That's just absolutely beautiful. But I'll get off my high horse, let's get back into the news.
And the full value of your donation goes toward the programs and essential services you enjoy.
Yeah, donate to NPR.
Go to gpv.org/donate
Donate to GPV.
and get started today.
I put in my $15 a month. That's how we
A
get these
toxic
wonderful
fire,
stories.
a plume of smoke, and a community demanding answers. In Conyers, Georgia, the biolab disaster left residents searching for truth and accountability. This season, GPV uncovers system failures, hears from whistleblowers, and follows neighbors still fighting to be heard. I'm Pamela Kirkland. Season 2 of Manufacturing Danger: The Biolab Story premieres Monday. Find it at gpv.org/podcast or wherever you get your podcasts.
That whole thing's crazy.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, many people turned to fresh flowers as a form of self-care. A new study from the University of Georgia's College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences finds that decision likely helped during a challenging time. GPV's Ellen Eldridge has more.
Of the more than 8,500 people surveyed, those who bought flowers in the past year felt better, improved mood, reduced stress, and heightened morale. UGA assistant
Makes sense.
professor
Flowers are
Julie
nice.
the lead author of the study. She says Americans tend to buy flowers for holidays, but in Europe,
people buy because it's a Tuesday, because it's your flowers died, and so you're gonna constantly have flowers as part of a cultural kind of thing. Whereas here, we kind of do it more for occasion.
Campbell says the psychological benefits were especially strong for those who regularly purchase flowers, and it helps spark growth for local farmers growing them. For GPV News, I'm Ellen Eldridge.
That's nice.
Support for NPR comes from the station.
Sorry, Cameron.
I'm from BreakBox.
I'm lucky enough that I have a backyard, and over the last 5 years, really since the beginning of COVID, I talked about it yesterday, is, me and my wife have been able to make a garden in our backyard, and it's expanded to our front yard in a way. We have like a bunch of trellises and these garden beds that we got. It's a pretty good deal. We originally built ones first, and then we upgraded to these like prefabbed metal ones that are painted and have like this anti-rust coating and everything on it. But it is so nice to just look out our bedroom window or go out into the backyard in the morning or the late afternoon, and you just see all the flowers just popping off. We have honeysuckle, we have sunroot, which is a native. You can eat the tubers. It's called Jerusalem artichoke. That's another name for it. We have milkweeds, we have passion flower, so many different species of aster and sunflower. And it's just absolutely beautiful. It smells wonderful. And you get to see the bees and the butterflies and the skippers and the moths and all the things in between are just fluttering and buzzing about, going flower to flower. And then you get all these wonderful little seed pods and fruits. And my kid loves to pick the seed pods off or the heads off the sunflowers and then spreads the seeds everywhere. It's just absolutely wonderful. So it makes sense if you get flowers. It feels good. You kind of have that little view into nature. They smell nice. It's gonna have a little bit of green. Green is just one of those colors that just makes people happy. Just kind of hits that primal calm. And the insect life is beautiful, and we have hummingbirds too because of the honeysuckle and a couple other species of plants that we have, but they really love the honeysuckle. And then the different stages we have, the long red and purple flowers, the hummingbirds go absolutely crazy. So I'd say if you're able to even have a couple pots of flowering plants, anything in the aster family, Asteraceae, it's just beautiful, and the bees go crazy for it, the butterflies go crazy for it. If you're able to put up some trellises, if you got the room for it, get some passion flower down here in Georgia because there's a species of butterfly called the Gulf fritillary, and they just go absolutely crazy for it. And when they get established enough, you get the passion flowers make passion fruit, and those can be pretty tasty. But yeah, no, it's wonderful. And if you're able to, if you have a community garden, definitely join that. If you don't have a community garden, which my neighborhood doesn't get, but maybe I can start pushing them to build a community garden, because there's some relegated land that's nothing right now that I feel like we could do something, maybe bring my neighborhood a little bit more together, which would be nice, especially because there's like a lot of renters there too. So maybe it would probably be good for them to meet new people, because there's a lot of moving in and out of that neighborhood just because of the jobs that are there. A lot of moving in and out. So that's just how it is. But let's listen to what GPV is talking about.
That they did it on purpose. Amazon didn't respond to questions about the Iliad flow, but again pointed to the brief, which says there are at least 40 ways to get to the cancellation page, and once there, unsubscribing takes a matter of seconds. An FTC victory could make an example of Amazon that discourages other companies from using dark patterns. But if Amazon prevails, it's likely to be business as usual on the internet. For NPR News, I'm Monica Nicholsberg in Seattle.
One crypto giant is not well known inside the US. It's called Tether. Under the Biden administration, it struggled to expand in the United States due in part to a controversial history that made even industry players wary. Now there's a new era of crypto regulation in America, and Tether has been
really crypto deregulation.
Here's Raphael Nam has the story.
On a beautiful sunny day in New York, a crowd of Wall Street and crypto executives sipped fancy smoothies as they eagerly waited for one man.
So please join me without further ado in joining the stage, CEO Tether. Hello, Arduino.
Arduino, the Italian CEO of one of the biggest crypto companies in the world.
Is he a microcontroller?
He was in Midtown Manhattan for a celebration. Tether was getting ready to launch its first US subsidiary.
Today's a great day for Tether, and for me personally. It is, in a certain way, a very important milestone in the history of our company.
Tether is a top player in one of the most promising areas of crypto, stablecoins. Here's how it works. When you give crypto companies like Tether $100, for example, they give you back $100 worth of stablecoins. Right now, stablecoins like Tether's are not easily available in the US yet, but they are being used in other parts of the world as digital cash to pay a merchant, for example, or to send money to a family member. Arduino claims Tether helps people who can't access banks or ATMs do something essential: tap the modern financial system.
I care about the people that are banked. I care about the people that are underserved. Those people, sorry to say, have been left behind by the traditional financial system for many decades.
Would this be people in America though? Like, getting a bank account in America is pretty easy.
A lot more than established.
And is basically a requirement to have a job, is to have some form of bank that have direct deposit.
Yes, regulations weren't in place for stablecoins until this year when Congress adopted new rules. But Tether also has a difficult reputation. The Wall Street Journal reported last year Tether was being investigated by federal prosecutors for potential violations of anti-money laundering rules.
Yeah,
the Treasury Department suspected Tether was being used by groups sanctioned in the U.S., such as Hamas.
Inviting a company with that kind of track record to the U.S. with open arms seems to be setting up a worrisome set of conditions.
That's Mark Hayes from Americans for Financial Reform, a consumer advocacy.
Yeah, that'd be my concern.
Like,
really,
other claims that have been made against Tether.
The only good part of crypto coins, like crypto coins only have two real uses. It's speculative gambling. I mean, you can watch Bitcoin or Ethereum, they bounce up and down all the time. And it's being able to do illegal actions with money, right? It's being able to buy illicit substances on the black market. It's washing cash through these through these blockchains, right? Through these big, through these cryptocurrencies. So the money comes out and it's not tracked to something bad.
So this crowd gathered in New York to boost the movement.
So it makes sense that it makes sense that that this company would be tied to some pretty sketchy stuff and being investigated. I think they said that the investigation got lifted with the current administration, which I would be too surprised about. I'm not 100% certain. I was talking over that portion, but this administration is very friendly towards crypto, especially because the president and first lady literally did a crypto rug pull days before taking office, and both their sons are very much financially invested into crypto firms, both here in the States and abroad. So anything that helps out crypto through deregulation, through broader acceptance into the financial systems that we have, banks, money lending, anything like that, trading, the more enriched that family will get. The more enriched the Trumps in general will be in their lackeys. So kind of that crony capitalism type of thing. Enrich yourself and not the people, which is quite aggravating. But we'll keep it there for the day. I know it was a lot more rambly than listening to the news, but at least I can say that a good 70% of this today was probably more positive than anything, and it's good to get some positivity in your life. Especially when I'm talking about my gardens and my flowers and such. They just put a smile on my face. The cute little butterflies and the cute little caterpillars crunching and munching through the leaves. It's just absolutely wonderful to see. So, but I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of y'all's day, and I will catch y'all tomorrow.